PayPal is making big moves after splitting from eBay last year. With over 18 million users on its one-touch service, the company is expanding the platform into 120 markets. PayPal also owns popular peer-to-peer payments app Venmo and Braintree, which powers the transactions on Uber, Airbnb, and other tech giants. TechCrunch sat down with SVP Bill Reddy for insight into what's on the horizon. So you have this new updated PayPal app. It's a great, sleek new design. It reminds me a little bit of your other product, Venmo, where it's easy to send money, but you also own Venmo. Are you competing with Venmo at PayPal?
Well, to be clear, I came in as CEO of Braintree and Venmo. So Venmo, there's no coincidence that there's some resemblance to that. I mean, we have, like other companies, we're creating, sort of multiple apps depending on what experience a consumer wants. And so certainly with the new PayPal app, we've streamlined that a lot.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was Braintree. You own Braintree, or you came from the Braintree team, and that powers Uber, Airbnb. So many people don't realize that every time you take an Uber, PayPal, you're giving some money to PayPal because you guys are behind everything here. So that's also called PayPal Commerce.
Well, so we have a separate thing called PayPal Commerce that we just recently launched, where our premise with Braintree and Venmo was that people use their mobile device to pay for everything, but we had a premise around where that would start with e-commerce on the mobile device and then person-to-person payments for Venmo, and we've expanded that where you can now pay other merchants with Venmo, those kinds of things. But what we did with PayPal Commerce is really around us addressing contextual commerce, which is to say there's going to be a lot of places where people buy things that are outside of the traditional checkout experience. If you look at like Pinterest buy buttons, 4 of the 5 major retailers that were part of the Pinterest buy button launch were on our platform. Facebook's new Messenger transportation experience is running on our platform. And so what we're doing with PayPal Commerce is really saying we're going to go democratize the ability for many, many merchants around the world. We have 10 million plus merchants around the world. Where we're saying we're going to go democratize the ability for those merchants to go sell anywhere where their customer may be, whether that's in a news feed somewhere, whether that's in email. It doesn't matter. We're going to help those merchants sell wherever their customers are. And we think that's a really important trend that you're going to see a lot more of that happening. So we're making sure that we go democratize that for our many millions of merchants around the world.
Venmo has been hugely popular with millennials, especially for making payments, paying each other back just at the click of a few buttons on their phone, and that's become really easy and fun. But you've also expanded that, and you're monetizing that now.
Yep.
So how does that work? You're partnering with restaurants and local?
Well, what we're doing with Pay with Venmo is, we actually had sort of the predecessor to PayPal One Touch was Venmo Touch. So when Braintree and Venmo were building, we had this belief that the two-sided network really mattered. You needed to have a relationship with the consumer to solve this easy mobile payment issue. And so basically what we're starting to do is to say for merchants that run on Braintree, they can now add Venmo as a form of acceptance. And one of the things that we see is that amongst the millennial early adopter demographic, Venmo has just exploded and has a huge slice of that demographic, which, by the way, if you have a great app that you're trying to grow, what are the customers you want? It's exactly the consumers that are on Venmo. And so we're giving those apps access to those consumers like Braintree and Game Time and some of the others that have launched with it so far. Look at that and see, oh yeah, we really want to get access to those millennials and early adopters that are on the Venmo platform to go more easily transact with this other world of apps.
And so what do you think about Apple Pay? I know some people view them as a competitor to you, but in other ways you work together. So
that's exactly right.
So how would you describe your relationship there?
Yeah, no, it's actually, Apple Pay is a huge partner of ours, and it is, many people sort of misunderstand that we actually, at the launch of Apple Pay, approximately half the apps on stage behind Tim Cook were getting Apple Pay through our Braintree platform. At the launch of Android Pay, exactly half were getting it through our Braintree platform. And so for those, what a lot of people don't realize is when we power those transactions, we monetize those, when we handle those transactions behind the Apple Pay button push, we monetize those in almost exactly the same way as we would any other transaction. So while we also have our own payment buttons with PayPal and Venmo, what we really care about is we want to wake up in a world where people can transact seamlessly, across their mobile device with any merchant they encounter any way they want to. And so while we have two of the most predominant digital wallets in the world in both PayPal and Venmo, we look at it and say, well, there's going to be more than one. There won't be 20 or 30 of them, but there's going to be a few. And so the others, we're going to power those as well. And that's why we're huge partners, both Apple Pay and Android Pay. And you can expect to see more of that from us, that as other wallets become relevant, we will enable those for our customers as well.
All right, well, lots of exciting stuff happening at PayPal. Thanks for joining me, Bill.
Absolutely. Always enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.